Hey, afternoon, and what an absolute cracker. It's been a great day. Not a lot has happened. We left Queenstown and drove to Strahan. The drive itself was spectacular. Beautiful forest, native trees, and just a fantastic drive. So we made it to Strahan. We're at the golf course. As you can see, it's quite popular here with a few people already booked in. And it's $10 a night, self-sufficient. There is some water here handy if you need it. So thank you very much to the Strahan Golf Club for making that available to us. And we only have a couple of Ks to walk to an amazing adventure tomorrow. So looking forward to another good day tomorrow. Hopefully weather's good and we've got an adventure that waits. Stay tuned. Well, a quick walk from the caravan place where we were, the golf club. And we're down here at the harbour where we're about to board our cruise boat for the day. So we're on this Wilderness Adventures, I think they call them. There's actually two boats you can go on. This one's already leaving this morning. That's Gordon River Cruises. They've got a pretty cool little boat, that one. That one's, I think, a hybrid boat. It can run on battery, which is pretty neat. So they're off early and we're just being called to board now. So let's check out the adventures ahead. We're leaving Strahan. Pretty impressive. 950 horsepower by 4. Purpose-built boat in Tasmania. She's a real ripper. Now we'll go and sit in the luxury of our seating. So hopefully you can hear me over all the noise, but we've just come out from Macquarie Harbour through the Hell's Gates. So the Hell's Gates are about 200 metres wide, which is a deep enough navigable channel. And on the other side of that is where we just come from. That's Macquarie Harbour, which is about 5 times greater than Sydney Harbour. Oh, hang on. So we're just lining up now through Hell's Gates and it's amazing. 200 metres wide. Wow, that is impressive. That's it there, lighthouse over there. Over there. Talk about threading the needle. That is impressive. So on the other side, obviously too shallow. I can see how many ships would lose it in there. Yeah, well there we go. We're on the other side of Hell's Gates. So we've got this impressive little wall over here. This was designed so that it could keep the channel nice and clear and open because it was getting rather shallow. But those are amazing little narrow through there. That was impressive. Hopefully you can hear me okay. But here's the wall that was over on the side. just going past Tasmania's aquaculture, and we've got salmon and trout. I think there's some 40-odd thousand salmon in each thing. Right, just departing our ferry. This is our first stop on the way up through to the Gordon River, and this is the infamous Sarah Island. This is where it was the banishment of some of the most hardened criminals, some of the repeat offenders, or escapees. They came here. And I'll tell you what, it's a beautiful spot to be right now, but I bet you some pretty hard conditions here. So this is the island. It's not much. Well, what a tough life. So we just had a good old spiel here at this is a reclaimed land that's logs on logs on logs, and it was turned into a bit of a shipyard way back in around about was it 1829. So yeah, pretty awesome. So some of the hardened criminals were here. It's an amazing amount of the resourcefulness that was around here. There was brick building, there was limestone, and of course they mined, well, harvested the timber from way up the valley, which we're going to be heading to. So yeah, pretty nasty in the early years. It was pretty inhospitable. So you had the Hell's Gates. This was kind of like called Hell's Island as well. There's a place over here, was it Halliday's Island? Yeah, there's about 80 odd bodies that have been buried over there for yeah, obvious causes and things. And then there was another island over here, I think that was called Grommet Island. And yeah, that was for some of the chain gang, and they were put over there when they finished their duties for the day. And then they were picked up the next day, brought into here to work the farming side of things, whilst the other crew all went up forestry. But yeah, you can see that this was just all reclaimed land, logs on logs. It's incredible. Still here today. So from what I can understand now, the area that we're walking through is once the boats were kind of built on land and then they were floated. Over here was kind of like the commissioning area of the boats. It's where they were fitted with their masks and masts and all the other bits and pieces. So there you go, yeah. The large finishing docks. So out there we can still see parts of the ramps and bits and pieces out there where they'll be tied up alongside and getting ready to sail out, I suppose. Go and meet their buyers. We were coming past here. Behind me is kind of like I think it was the administration, the surgeons, doctors, those kind of quarters. It was said that there was one year there was nearly 9,100 lashes of the whip given out. Yes, cat of nine tails. I think there was like 3 of them. They would soak them in the salt water before they would administer the lashes. Just incredible. And then later on, I think after around about 1928, 29 or something, they started off with the solitary confinement. So that's what we're going through here now. But oh, have we picked a good day to come visit? Bloody awesome. Oh, this is a lime pit down here. There was a bakery down here too somewhere. And yeah, it's amazing how the ruins are still around this neck of the woods. Looking awesome. What a day. You're back on that reclaimed land. Yeah, down here, it's approximately 1.5 hectares of reclaimed land. And it was, it took a year to do it with the convicts. Logs side by side, held together, and then backfilled with rubble. And the rubble they had to source elsewhere, around Macquarie Harbour, to fill it up. Pretty awesome. Well, if you ever are in this neck of the woods, a terrific tour. Just coming to Sarah Island itself was just mind-blowing. Our guide, absolutely awesome. Interesting to note, yeah, Sarah Island ran from 1822 to 1833, and yeah, it really changed from what it was to start with. At the end, the last 5 years, they produced some 95 ships out of here. Just staggering. It was an amazing transformation. We're just backing up from Sarah Island. It's official. The ship has left the building. So here we go. Here's the island coming into view there now. Sort of feels like that song, the Eagles sung it, didn't it? Hotel California. Doesn't look much, but man, there was a hell of a lot going on in there, eh?
One way to the right hand side, that's one way to the right hand side. Halfway around our guide, Katarina will meet you. Short talk, Q&A, rainforest, plants, trees and wildlife. We've been here for around 40 minutes, so we'll leave at 1:10. At 1 o'clock you'll hear the signal horn. Once you hear that horn, you have 10 minutes to get on board, or we'll leave you here. But please don't do that, it's too much paperwork for me. So once you hear the horn, return to the vessel. 2 spills, there is no smoking in here. It is an offence to smoke in the rainforest, as they cannot regenerate through fire. And the next one is tiger snakes. We do have 2 tiger snakes that live around the path. Those on board that aren't familiar with the Tasmanian subspecies, they're purely black and 2 metres long. They will resemble a red-bellied black snake. They're not. We don't get those in Tasmania. They are tigers, drawn up to pat them. Otherwise you'll have an interesting helicopter ride out to Hobart. But apart from that, guys, enjoy your time in Heritage Landing. I'll see you all back on board, hopefully.
So here we are. The little jetty we see behind us is the Heritage Landing, apparently. So it's where we get a little opportunity to have a walk through the rainforest that's up here. It's very, very precious to the habitat and the wilderness area. Peace and quiet, I could probably talk to you about the boat itself. This family, I think it's a Grimman family. Jude will pop the name down below, but they've had a very long history here in Strahan, and they've been part of the milling side of things and the tourist side of things, and for many, many years. So they really put on a pretty good show. As I say, there's 2 boat companies that put on good shows, but so we've been on this one today, and top notch. So big shout out to the crews. Great feed, great company, and great facilities. So about time I use this opportunity to leave the boat and go and have a little walk around that the rainforest that way. I haven't had to go far to find my first Huon pine. So this is just as I got off the boat, and it's got a little label that says it's Huon pine. So Huon pine apparently is one of the oldest living trees and one of the oldest living organisms on Earth. They actually found one in a bog that was about 3,500 years old. There's only one other that was older, and that was North American bristlecone, I believe. So yeah, pretty awesome tree. They say liked for its shipbuilding type properties. Up here, we've travelled a long way up, and this is where they were doing a lot of the tree felling and bits and pieces for the convicts and side of things, and it continued on for shipbuilding. Apparently the Huon pine is also one of very few green timbers that can actually float. So a lot of them were actually cut down, dragged to the river, and waited until the floods came and then helped wash them down to those areas where they could be processed. So hopefully I'll find out a bit more about that. But here we are, beautiful boardwalk, walking through lovely rainforest. well, pretty cool nature walk through the rainforest with a little bit of narration from one of our onboard arborists, and great on the old service on the boat. It's given us lots of like medicines and treatments and foods and things that you can get in the rainforest. So yeah, it was very informative. Oh well, here we are, just pulling up at Strahan, the village of Strahan, and we're about to go through the last of our tours, and that's going to be the Morrison sawmill, where some of these beauty pine logs would come to be processed. So we've got a nice little demonstration, and I'll walk through some of the nice craftsmanship that these things create. It's been one really good journey. So let's go downstairs and let's go and have a look through the sawmill. Opposite the mill, which is just quieting down now that he's gone and cut his log. This is a hewn pine log. It was filled by the Morrison brothers, who this mill is, and it's in the Denison River in approximately 1960. So it's believed to be 800 years old. So hewn pine was a very slow growing tree. So this was recovered in the harbour here in 2008, and it's quite plain to see that it was a Morrison log, because it had the Morrison brand on the end right here. There he is, Morrison. Oh dear, dear. Not doing a good job, am I, directing this thing? Morrison brand. So obviously with the protected forest now, the guys here, especially at the mill here, they still operate, but they only operate on what do they call it, salvage type timber that's been floating around on the banks, or submerged timber and things. They grab that, it's pretty sought after. So they give it another lease of life and keep it going. So we'll pop on inside and check out the hewn pine shop. Well, it's been a very relaxing little afternoon. We finished our cruise, had an ice cream, popped into the Hammers Hotel, had a nice cold one, and now we're heading, we're going to be heading to our show for the night. So that's actually not far past the cruise area. So looking forward to that. Up at this little theatre of the ship that never was, eh?
Yes, yes.
All excited?
Yep, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so it's all nice, all fully booked for the next 2 nights. So if you ever come into this neck of the woods, make sure you get in early, otherwise you miss out. So see what it's all about.
Yeah, we booked in 3 days in advance, so.
Later.
Bye.
Alright, sea storm! He's cold! you don't do nothing. Whenever we mention their names, William Cheshire and Charlie Lyon, you lot get the boo. Should we have a practice? William Cheshire? Well, what are you two being up?
Oh, terrific view, terrific ending of a great evening or day here in Strahan, and topped it all off with a play, The Boat That Never Was. Terrific acting, a couple of actors there, and awesome crowd participation. We had a lot of fun. Now we're going to walk all the way back to the golf course where our accommodation awaits. And board a cruise vessel to go and do a wonderful rainforest. No, I didn't like that. And we've got a pretty neat adventure waiting for us. Oh God, a bloody dog ran at me. You frightened the bejesus out of me. Just behind me we're leaving the Tasmanias. It's too bloody windy. The first known example of lane reclamation in Tasmania.